Hi, this is Jill Niebuhr. I'm Angel Warrior, and welcome back to another talk. I want to talk today about the presidents in our country, America, and talk about the developments in our world and how it affects the world on a large scale. So, as a lot of you know, I have been personally involved in the health industry for 25 years. And I also was part of when they first brought neuropleptic medication into our system. And back then, it was good for people to get put away for long periods of time. And during those times, people would undergo severe treatments such as shock therapy, and a lot of times die in the institutions they were put in. So the advancement of that was when antipsychotic medications came out. And when antipsychotic medications came out, I knew that there was supposed to be only a low dose prescribed to people because they're so powerful. Fast forward to today, and psychiatrists way over-medicate people, and they get put into the system a lot of times through being unsafe, which a lot of times has to do with poverty. And so a lot of poor people are mentally ill, according to the stigma out on it. But that's not really the case. Just because someone's in an unsafe situation does not mean that they are mentally ill. However, our body does react to those situations, and they send out alert signals. And if they're continuously unsafe, those signals do not go back to their normal levels. And so what happens is they get put on antipsychotic medications so their bodies can return to normal again. I'm reading a book called The Body Keeps the Score right now, and it talks about how in trauma, someone in trauma will a lot of times relive certain situations. Like if they were abused as children, they will get into abusive situations. And they will continue these cyclical patterns because that is what they're accustomed to. So there's a lot of things that we're accustomed to in America that is not necessarily the right thing. And then you talk about, since the issue of poverty came up already, the issue of our money in our country has never been right. Back when war started, I really wanted them to have compensation plans for going to war. Instead, they decided to kill people and to leave them without anything when they'd come back to war. That's why there was a lot of homeless vets. That's why a lot of vets died in alcoholism, is because they were still going through the trauma of war, but they were re-traumatized by coming back to our country, the ones that survived. So this was actually a pretty big issue, since war has been a big issue for humankind for a really long time. And war has been a popular subject for us for a really long time up until now. And so this put a system of lack into our culture. And what happens is right now there's a lot of people on Social Security. And so when Social Security started, it was suggested by me that Social Security gets started so that people could get their lives back together again. And it was meant as an aid for people to still be able to pay their bills and still be able to afford living while they were in a destitute situation. And that was during the Great Depression. And now, since we have so much lack in our culture, we have a lot of Social Security. And a lot of our problems base off of people's inability or unwillingness to work for low income jobs. And since they take most of it out for taxes, like half of it, people don't want to work. And because the difference between a low income job and Social Security wouldn't be a lot different. So one of the things that is important to me is getting the money right in this country and making sure that we are all living an abundant life and making sure that we are all able to afford the nice things that we want without going broke. And taxes were always supposed to be just a small percentage of income, like 2%. And right now our taxes are atrocious and people can't survive like that. So these are some of the concerns of mine moving forward. And I think that with where our country is today, we need a 25-year cool-off period, because we've went through the Bill Clinton stage, and we had Barack Obama and Donald Trump as our presidents, and they were really leaning on me a lot, but their power got off. So today it's important that we have a good foundation for our future. So people are in this state right now where they have all of these dynamic parts of them, because we've developed, and evolution has allowed the people to develop, and I've helped the people develop so that they are multi-dynamic and they can make decisions on their own. They can choose what's right or wrong based off of higher principles, things that come down from me. So, in order to function as humans, you need to start to understand the dynamics of where you were to where you are now. And where you were was in a very black or white place for a long time. And that's why war was really common, is because it was a black impulse. And the white impulse was when you communicated, or when you were able to keep, when you wanted the government to give you things that you earned in this country, things like that. And so now, and since that was off, there are some things that are off in our population still today. And it's my goal over the next 25 years to teach people how to operate in this multidimensional facet, and to teach people how to operate in our society without war and without violence, and to get along and to have healthy businesses and to function as a whole. So back when the Constitution was made, the Federalist Papers mentioned something about how in our country there would be so many dynamics that it would be difficult for a whole to happen. And right now, the whole needs to happen. We need to, so it's stepping away from country pride and more into individual action, individual responsibility, individual choices. And based off of that, being honest, being forthright, making fair deals, and people don't even know what fair is today. So there's a lot of things that are left to be done, and we are all in a place in our culture where everyone has different motivations, everyone's different, we're very diverse. And what I need to do in the next 25 years is to bring the country together as a whole, so that everyone's still operating from their individual place, but it's operating as one, and it's a healthy country, and we're making money, and we're healthy. The healthcare system is a big difference, because if we're not healthy, we don't make good decisions for ourselves. And our healthcare system, as everyone knows, is a disaster. And insurance is a disaster. You know, like things don't get covered insurance that should, and things that shouldn't maybe do. And then you have the use of medications, which is way high right now too. And medications on antipsychotic medications bring you into a state of receptivity. So I guess that helps in a way with people being susceptible to change. But we don't want everyone on medications, and we want to increase the health of human beings, not the medication level of human beings. So there's a lot of work to be done, and our country has come a long ways already, and it will survive through this. And I'm going to be a principal in action, and I'm going to be advocating for people, and I'm going to help make these changes over the next 25 years. And so while we're cooling off, while you're cooling off, just remember that you do have a personal responsibility. And even though things haven't went A+ in our country, we can expect things to change. You can expect things to change if you are able to act in a way that is conducive to us getting along as a whole, rather than just like doing whatever you want to do. If we are all acting, if the country is acting as a whole, you will be operating at a level above any other country in the world. And since our country is a model for the world, it's important. It's really important what we do here, and it's really important how we behave and how we treat each other. And it's just never been on the radar that this was an important thing before, and it really is right now. And it's important that we all treat each other, or that you treat each other as you would want to be treated, and keeping things fair and honest, and living out the best health that you possibly can. Right now, currently, I promote Le-Vel, and it's a good way to get your body in balance. It fills in nutritional gaps, and it's very good for all-around health. So I'm going to leave my referral information down in the description box in case you want to check that out. And I do run my Patreon blog too on a weekly basis. And that's about all for today. So thanks for joining me.